What's going on, guys? It's Gia here representing JiasWorld, and I'm driving. But I want to talk about deadbeat parents. My good friend Mr. Westenizer made a video about 2 weeks ago where he discussed, deadbeat parents and how some deadbeat parents try to get back into their child's life years later. And I want to talk about my personal experiences. Number one, and I'm speaking from a person who grew up with their grandparents, and my maternal grandparents, as in my mother's parents, raised me. And that's because essentially both my biological mother and biological father had other things that they thought were more important, essentially, than raising their child. I'm trying to keep it as PG and respectful as possible, but being realistic, I'm bitter as all get out about this situation. So I'm just going to say they had other important things at the time that was more important than raising their child. So my mother's parents, my grandparents raised me. I will never truly understand or be able to relate to why individuals decide that they're not going to take care of their children and they're not going to be responsible for their children. I will never be able to relate or understand that fully. And I'm being 100% honest, because in my eyes, unless you're dead or you are a physical threat or harm to yourself in society, there is no reason that you're not in your child's life. I'm over it, okay? I'm sick of the excuses that we give people for being deadbeats. I'm sick of the sperm donor, egg donor theory. Because it's to the point, especially in our own communities, and I'm going to go on and say it, in the African American Black community, it's to the point where this is damn near the common norm. Oh, you don't know who your father is? I don't either. Oh, your mother doesn't take care of you? Mine doesn't either. Like, why is that becoming the norm? Why is it that so many people can relate to that? Like, what is that? And why do we think it's okay? And in some cases, people think it's cute that they have multiple baby daddies and multiple baby mothers, and you're not involved with neither of the kids. Like, I can't. Or there's cases where they'll take care of one child and then completely neglect the other child or other children that they have. It's just really ridiculous to me. And I'm about to get into it also. Sex is a beautiful thing. Sex is great. I get it. It's powerful. It makes people feel good, especially if it's done correctly and it's with consent. You're loving it. I'm loving it, McDonald's style. However, when we get down to the biological root of sex, it is to procreate. It is to produce another human. It is for reproductive reasons. That is the biological purpose of sex. Sorry, message. So if you have sex, there's a potential risk that you can get somebody pregnant or become pregnant. So when you look at that, once again, there's no excuse for this deadbeat syndrome that we've got going on, where people are just in such shock that they had sex and it led to a child or many children. I don't know why you're shocked, because that's the biological purpose of sex. But because clearly everyone's not taking biology seriously, and these conversations are not being had in some situations, this information is not as common as you would think. So once again, I can't get into the whole, it's not their fault. No. And another thing is, then for children, for people who grow up, and think about it, you don't know your biological parents. That is some crazy, bizarre shit. Okay, seriously, that is crazy to really sit down and think about. You never met your biological parent or parents. Or it's even crazier when your biological parents are in the same vicinity, but you still don't see them. Because, like, in my case, my mom was around, but she didn't raise me, and I would go months without seeing her. Even though she's in the same damn city. Even though she's in the same damn state. Right? Like, that was bizarre. You know? And I couldn't understand what that was all about growing up. Like, it just didn't make any sense. And then, like, I never saw my father, or my biological father. And it's just like, all right, this is life. This is the life cards dealt you. Deal with it. We're not going to have any, apologies, explanations, nothing. We're just going to act like this is the normal, and you just deal with it. And then when you're a little kid, you may not even realize until you go to school and your other friends are talking about, well, me and mom are going to do this, and me and dad, I get to see dad this weekend, and we're going here. And then you start realizing, you know what, something strange about you, because you're not going to see your dad. You don't even know where your mother is. Then you start realizing through learned experiences when you're a kid and looking at your other friends and classmates, well, they have moms and dads, how come I don't? Or, why are you always with your grandparents? Those are the things that you notice, and you're just like... And then another thing that's weird is how it's just like... It's just another reason why I really don't care for Mother's and Father's Day. Like, I'm just about to go in real quick. I think we should personally get rid of Mother's and Father's Day because, number one, you shouldn't be being rewarded for what you're supposed to be doing. Nobody told you to go out here and have sex. And then some of you, even with all the medical and scientific breakthroughs, are still having unprotected sex. And it's not to say because, let's be honest, just because you have protected sex doesn't necessarily mean you can't get pregnant, doesn't necessarily mean you can't get somebody pregnant, doesn't necessarily mean that you won't catch an STD or an STI. However, the odds are in your favor that you won't get pregnant and you won't get somebody pregnant and you won't catch an STD or an STI if you use protection. The odds are in your favor in that situation, but even in that, people still go out here and have unprotected sex. But yeah, even in that whole situation, people will still go out here and have unprotected sex. But knowing these things and knowing how I felt, and still feel, not really having a true bonding relationship with neither biological parent, I would never want to bring that upon anybody else. Because, I know how that feels. And, if I have the opportunity to ever become somebody's parental guidance or parent, I want to make sure that I'm there for them holistically. I'm there every step of the way. I'm there financially, emotionally. I need to be there. I don't want to be missing out, on special events they have, if they're playing sports or they have a recital, or I don't want to be missing out on any of that because I know how it feels. I want to be that parent that's at every single event, or at majority of those events. But as far as reconnecting with sperm and egg donors, deadbeats, it's hard. It's hard because some of them will literally wait until you are a grown-up. I'm almost in my mid-20s. I'll be 25 October 15th, 2017. And it's like, oh, hey, I'm your dad. What? Like, who in the hell are you? And it's just like, why did you wait 2.5 decades to want to inform me that you're my father? And then same thing with my mother. Like, our relationship is so odd. Like, it's more like a big sister, little sister relationship than an actual mother-daughter relationship. So it's just weird. Like, to this day, my grandmother by far is who I consider to be my mother, and my grandfather is who I consider to be my father, because they were the ones who raised me and supported me emotionally, financially, physically. Like, they were there every step of the way. So that's who I honor. But it's just weird to me, because it's like, even with my mom, you know, our relationship is so strange and odd and awkward, and, you know, it's a constant learning process. And then, you know, people are always saying, you know, we have to forgive and blah blah. Me personally, I don't really believe in forgiveness, because to me you don't forgive 25 years of deadbeatry. And I just made that up, deadbeatry. But like, literally, how do you forgive 25 years of someone being a deadbeat? You know, and then people don't. And another thing, the reason why I don't believe in forgiveness is people don't forget. Because if that was the case, we wouldn't be talking about slavery. We wouldn't be talking about the Holocaust. We wouldn't be talking about any of that if we supposedly forgive and we moved on. We haven't, because people don't forget. Which proves my point. I just don't believe in forgiveness. To me, it's just a PC word to try to make people feel good. But in reality, no. Ain't nobody forgetting you being a deadbeat. Ain't nobody forgetting you doing wrong. So, anyways, that's just, you know, a whole nother topic. But, yeah, I'm just like, I thought I needed to do a long video discussing this, because I'm like, that to me is just like, you're pathetic. If you're sitting up here and you have kids and you're not involved in their lives, and it's really pathetic when you live in the same damn city, same damn state, and you don't take the time to see your children, you are pathetic. I'm just gonna go on and say it. You are pathetic with a capital P. You are the worst type of individual. If there is a hell, you need to be burning there. That's where you deserve. And that's for real. Because it's really ridiculous that, like I said, people just don't want to be accountable for anything. And then, like I said at the beginning of this video, unless you are dead or you are a physical threat to society and yourself, then there's absolutely no excuses for you not to be in your child's life. End of discussion. I'm so sick of the excuses that we want to give people for being deadbeats. What are you able to offer at that point? Like, what can you offer me as a parent when I'm in my mid-20s? So yeah, you know, let me know in the comment box below, like, are these things that, like, have you personally had to deal with deadbeat parents, sperm donors, egg donors? How do you deal with it? What is some of the advice you would give other people who may be in the same situation? Leave comments below. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell, because apparently even if you're subscribed, you will not know about new videos and new uploads unless you hit that notification bell. All of my links to my social media are in the description box below. Thanks for watching. Shout out to Mr. Westernizer. And if you have kids, be in their lives financially, emotionally, physically. Be there for them. Do not be a deadbeat.
Just